It's quite rare that a tree is born with perfect growing conditions. Therefore, trees in nature have to go through many difficulties in their life. They are exposed to wind, rain, storms, even harsh environments like rocky soil and salty air from the ocean. To survive, they have to fight for resources. That's why natural trees have to constantly adapt to overcome these difficulties, which in turn results in unique shapes. For example, the strong wind will blow the tree down so it can only grow sideways. Or because there's not enough nutrition in the soil, the tree has to grow very slowly, which will result in a dense and compact tree. Or if the tree grows in shallow soil, it will grow wide and low to the ground. Over time, the accumulation of all those little things will make a tree look different from the rest. These are what we call jimbaku trees, which literally means a tree with scars in Japanese. A lot of bonsai artists say that nature is their teacher, especially when it comes to creating artistic bonsai. Bonsai artists learn from nature and use techniques to reproduce the forms found in nature. But sometimes they also create new forms that do not exist in nature because their imagination allows them to do so. However, it's not easy to create a tree that doesn't exist in nature. Bonsai artists must have extensive knowledge about trees in order to come up with ideas. Without that knowledge, it would be impossible to create something that does not exist in nature. If you are new here, we talk about bonsai trees and the art of growing and shaping them. If you love bonsai or want to learn more about it, please subscribe to show your support. Today we will learn about 3 trees that were created by famous bonsai artists who were inspired by nature. The first tree is this Chinese elm bonsai by Master Liu Yuan. This Chinese elm bonsai was awarded the best bonsai at the 2019 National Bonsai Exhibition in China. And it's not hard to understand why this tree is considered the best. Just take a look at the shape of this tree. It's very impressive. The branches have so many cool movements. Take the branch that grows out of the front, for example. It grows straight up and then suddenly turns 90 degrees right before our eyes. Then the artist adds another branch that goes in the opposite direction. The result is a very dynamic bonsai. Not only that, but the way he tied the branches together makes the tree look like it is growing out of a rock. This is a very common design in Chinese bonsai, and it looks fantastic. But the question is, where did this idea come from? Where did the artist get the inspiration to create this beautiful bonsai? There are 2 answers. The first one is from the Chinese painting scroll called Landscape at Viewing Rock by Fan Quan. In this painting, there is a similar composition of a tree growing out of a rock. This painting was created around 900 years ago, during the Northern Song Dynasty. This painting is now kept at the National Palace Museum in Taipei. The second answer is this tree in nature. The bonsai artist took the basic idea from the tree in nature and implemented his own creativity to make it into a bonsai. He combined several small trees into one, which is a technique called kasumigashira in Japanese. Basically, you remove the extra trunks until you have the number of trunks you want. Then you connect the root balls together and hide the connection with soil and rocks. As you can see, the tree in nature has a similar movement to the branches of the bonsai. The bonsai artist just had to imagine how to combine several trees to form one single tree. I think the artist did a great job because the tree looks very natural. The roots are well displayed and the tree fits perfectly in the ceramic pot. Overall, this is an amazing bonsai. Moving on to the next bonsai, this is a Japanese white pine bonsai. This tree is absolutely stunning. The trunk has incredible nabari, which is the display of fine white roots covering the entire root ball. The branches have nice taper, and they are placed perfectly. The tree looks so elegant. The bonsai artist named Fujita Sori won multiple awards with this tree, including Best Tree at the Tokyo National New Kitos Bonsai Exhibition in 2014. Now let's look at the tree in nature that inspired him. The tree in nature has the same movement as the branches of the bonsai. This is actually a very common pose for pine trees. You can find many pine trees in nature with this type of branching. What's interesting is that the pine tree in nature has a very large trunk, but the bonsai has a very small trunk. This means the bonsai artist had to practice yukiri, which is the removal of excess bark. By removing the excess bark, the artist reduced the age of the tree and made it smaller. This is a very advanced technique that requires a lot of experience. You can tell the bonsai artist is very skilled. In addition, the tree in nature has very thick foliage, so the bonsai artist had to keep the tree pruned to make sure it stays dense and compact. Finally, the tree in nature grows in a forest. Therefore, it has to compete for sunlight with the trees around it. In the wild, this means the tree will grow very slowly, which will result in dense and compact wood. But for a bonsai, this means the artist has to prune the tree a lot. Pruning will help keep the tree small and dense. Now let's move on to the last tree. This is a Korean pine bonsai. The tree has a very unique shape. It looks so natural. The branches have some very interesting movements. The bonsai artist named Kim Hak-rae won multiple awards with this tree, including the gold medal at the first All-Korea Bonsai Exhibition in 1984. Let's look at the tree in nature that inspired him. This tree grew very close to the ocean. Because of the salty air from the ocean, the tree's roots could not absorb water. Therefore, the tree had to grow very slowly. Slow-growing trees have dense and compact wood. In addition, because the tree grows near the ocean, it's constantly exposed to wind. The wind will blow the tree down so it can only grow sideways. It has to bend down like that to avoid being blown over. This is how the tree got its shape. However, there are still a few differences between the bonsai and the tree in nature. For example, the tree in nature has a very large canopy, but the bonsai has a very small canopy. So the bonsai artist had to do a lot of pruning to reduce the size of the canopy. In addition, the tree in nature has a very thin trunk, but the bonsai has a thick trunk. So the bonsai artist had to graft several branches to thicken the trunk. Finally, the tree in nature has very shallow roots. You can see that the roots are almost at the surface of the ground. The bonsai artist used this to his advantage by putting the bonsai in a shallow ceramic pot. As you can see, the bonsai artist learned the overall shape from the tree in nature. But that's about it. He had to change almost everything else about the tree to make it into a bonsai. He changed the size of the trunk, the size of the canopy, the number of branches, and of course, he had to prune the tree a lot. So these are 3 beautiful bonsai trees that were inspired by nature. Nature is full of beauty. Bonsai artists take the beauty they see in nature and make it into bonsai. They are truly the students of nature. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.